Noswaith Dar, and good evening, everybody. And thank you for joining us this evening on our live StreamYard event for the Cambria University Centre. This is a live event, and we appreciate that you've joined us this evening. So, how's it going to work? Well, we're going to introduce this evening you to our panel of experts who are here to tell you everything you need to know about the Cambria University Centre. And then you will have the opportunity, we'll give an overview of the programmes that we offer, and you'll have the opportunity to get involved, give us your questions, and ask anything you want to know or anything you didn't think you wanted to know. But don't worry, if you don't get a chance to ask your questions tonight, or if there's something you think about later, you can contact us tomorrow and we will be able to get back to you. So let's make a start and let's introduce you to our panel this evening. And I'm going to make a start with Emma, please. Emma Hurst.
Thanks, Lizzie. I'm Emma Hurst. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dean of Higher Education and Access to Higher Education at College Cambria.
Thank you. Over to Donna, please.
Noswaith Dar, pawb. My name's Donna Pritchard. I'm HE Compliance Manager and I work to Emma.
Brilliant. Nick?
Hi, my name's Nicola Evans. I'm the ALN Specialist Tutor with responsibility for overseeing HE learners.
Thank you. And Bethan, over to you.
Good evening. I'm Bethan Charles and I'm the Student Services Manager at College Cambria.
Fantastic. Thank you. Emma, last but not least.
Yeah, Noswaith Dar, Emma Stedman. I'm Library and Academic Skills Manager for College Cambria.
Thank you. And finally, me, I'm Lizzie Stevens. I'm Head of Inclusion at the Centre. So here responsible for equality and diversity, additional learning needs and wellbeing. So before we go to the questions, and we have already had some questions coming through previously, so earlier today, but before we go to the questions, Emma, can I ask you to give an overview of the programmes that we offer?
Sure, thanks, Lizzie. Okay, so in terms of our Cambria University Centre, we've got a lot of programmes on offer. Firstly, if we look at kind of the foundation degrees, which are our level 4, level 5 qualifications. So foundation degrees are standalone qualifications. Students graduate at the end of the level 5 and cap and gown and all that kind of celebration event that will take place. Generally at our partner universities, which I'll come on to in a minute. So that's where we hold our graduation ceremony. So whoever we work with, that's where the student would graduate from. So we've got foundation degrees. We also have degree level study up to level 6. Some of those is our top-up provisions. So that means students who've previously done foundation degrees with us can top up to a level 6, or we have straight 3-year degree programs as well. Then we work with Pearson for a number of our higher national diplomas and certificates in different subject areas. Again, higher national, we've got a HNC, which is your higher national certificate, which is a level 4 qualification standalone. Again, graduate with a cap and gown once completion of that course. We have the level 5, which is the HND. And again, standalone qualification where students would graduate at the end of level 5. And then decide if they did want to take that level of study further, then they could top up with a top-up degree, top up to level 6 study, and then would gain their full honours degree usually after a year of study if you've done a HND or a foundation degree previously. And then we also have postgraduate qualifications. They are in teaching, really. So people who are interested in getting into teaching in the post-16 kind of arena. So post-compulsory teaching qualifications for people who are interested in teaching and learning and wanting to take those skills further. So we work with a number of leading universities. We work with Liverpool John Moores, we work with Bangor University, we work with Wrexham Glyndŵr, Aberystwyth and Swansea. So as I mentioned, all of those foundation degrees and degrees that we offer, they're kind of validated by a university. So your certificate would come from the university, not the college itself. And then just kind of an add-on on that, if students don't have the access requirements to go on to one of our degree level programs or foundation degree, we do have a whole host of access to higher education diplomas, and that is kind of like a stepping stone to university, if you like. So it would give you that level 3 qualification that you would need to study at higher education. So we offer them in a number of subject areas, so nursing, we've got healthcare, we've got policing, which is starting in September, humanities, social work, teaching, engineering. So a whole array of kind of access to higher education programs, which will help you move on to higher education.
Wow. So there's a huge amount and a variety there, isn't there? If anybody sort of didn't quite catch any of those, how would they find out more information? Is that available on the website?
Yeah, so everything is on the website, Lizzie. So if people are interested in specific subject areas, you'd be able to type that into the website and it would come up with a list of courses. So it would probably show you kind of the FE courses as well as the higher education courses. But if you go to the University Centre tab on the website, that will list all of the courses that are available. And it also lists the access to higher education diplomas as well on there, Lizzie.
Brilliant. That's great. Thank you very much for that. And we've already got a question in from somebody. Owen, thank you very much for joining us. And I'm really pleased that you're here with us this evening. And a really valid question. How long will it take to get a level 6 degree? So I think, Emma, I think that's actually you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fine. I can answer that one. And it's not a simple answer. I'm sorry. So it would depend. It would depend where you're starting. If you're starting right from the beginning and starting on a 3-year degree program, generally, if you study that full time, it would be 3 years. But if you're part-time, then obviously it would take you a little longer. And if, for example, you've already done previous qualifications before that are at level 4 or level 5, it could be that they map across to the degree program that somebody is studying. So that could mean that they miss out some modules at level 4 or level 5, and that would be a quicker route. So it's very kind of, it links to individual kind of people and previous study of what they've done. But if you're starting, if you've got a level 3 qualification and you're starting on a degree program full time, generally 3 years.
Brilliant. And if Owen wants to pop along to one of our open events, I'm sure that would there be somebody there he could talk to specifically?
Absolutely. So we do have some open events coming up next week. So the 23rd and the 24th of January. 23rd is the Monday, and that's at Deeside. And then the 24th is at Yale and our Bersham Road sites as well. So yeah, come along and we'll be happy to help.
Brilliant. Owen, so if you'd like to pop along, we'd love to see you. And thank you very much for your question. Now, I've had a question sent in, and it's probably something that a lot of people are thinking about when you're thinking about that high level study. Bethan, I think it might be one for you. What student finance support is offered by the University Centre, and how do I apply?
So with higher level, higher education courses, you're looking at a tuition fee loan, which is you could get up to £9,250 a year, depending on how much the course costs. So that's the first aspect of it. That's paid directly to the university, and you would pay it back. The second part to it is helping with living costs, which is a mixture of loan or grant to help you with living costs. This is slightly different in it varies how much loan and how much grant depending on your household income. So who you live with, where you're studying. So there's two aspects there, and you would apply for that via Student Finance Wales or the student loan company.
Brilliant. And again, if you wanted to know more and get some more information, what would people need to do? Is it available on the website, or do they pop in? What's best?
Yeah, either pop in and come and have a chat with us. There's plenty of information on our website as well under funding, and also have a look on the Student Finance Wales website and also the Student Loans Company website. Just there's plenty of information on there, and that's where you'd apply as well. There's you'd set up an account and apply through that.
Fantastic. Thanks, Beth. And I think that was really clear and really helpful, actually, because finances are such an important part of this. Okay, we've had another question through. Donna, I think this one might be actually for you, but I might be wrong. What are the course entry requirements? Are you able to help with that?
Yeah, thanks, Lizzie. It really depends on which course. So the best advice really in the first place is to have a look on the website. Then if you click on I'm just trying to refresh myself now. The courses that are provided under subject areas, you can home in on the specific area that you want. For each course, then there's a course profile, and that'll tell you all about the course, the types of things you're going to study, modules, etc. But importantly, it's got sections on how do you apply, what the entry requirements are, and the costs. So entry requirements for the level 4 entry is generally a substantive level 3 qualification, and then for the postgraduate course that Emma mentioned earlier, teaching is normally a valid level 3 qual plus work experience of about 5 years, or an honours degree if you want to go down the PGCE route. So it depends really on the course. The best thing is to either have a look or get some advice from us.
Fantastic. And again, we have got those open events, which I think they're so good, aren't they? Because it means that you can come along, have a chat, speak to somebody, and we can be really person-centred and really look at what's best for you.
And I think it's an individual thing that we try and give individual advice. So anyone wants to come along, they're open 4 till 7, Monday and Tuesday.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Nick, this one might be for you. We've had a question about support for somebody who's got additional needs, additional learning needs. Are you able to say what type of support we offer?
Yeah, thanks, Lizzie. We offer lots of support because we're a very inclusive college generally. To start with, within the classroom, we offer a variety of teaching approaches informed by an inclusive approach. So specialist tutors like myself give support to all the classroom teachers on what an inclusive classroom looks like, for example, and what specific needs different people with different ALM might have. Although we always say to the teachers in the classroom to speak to their students, because as the student with that additional need, you might know best how you learn. The ALN specialist tutors like myself can offer support strategies such as managing time, organising thoughts, getting your thoughts onto paper, and we can do exam allowance assessments if we feel like you benefit from having perhaps rest breaks or extra time in your exams. Not all of the degree programmes have exams, you might be pleased to hear, but for those that do, such as engineering, then we're able to put some allowances in place to make sure that they're as accessible to you as possible. And we can also support with applying for DSA, which I'm sure we'll come on to at some point this evening.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, that's fine. That's lovely. Thank you so much. And you'll see down the bottom there, we have got the email address if you want to get in touch with us. What I would say is that if you're concerned about coming and joining the University Centre and you're neurodiverse, you've got neurodiversity, you may have something like ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia. If you're concerned about it, please, please, please get in touch. Our job is to make sure that we make it as smooth as possible for you coming in and make the whole process as enjoyable as possible for you. So we're there to support, and that can happen beforehand, before you join us, or during. For some people, they might not realise they have an additional learning need until they start working at this level. And again, we're there to support. We make sure that you have everything you need to succeed. Thanks for that, Nick. Moving on, please do, for everyone who's watching, thank you so much for joining us. If you've just joined us, thank you. You are here on the live StreamYard event for Cambria University Centre, and you're here with our panel of experts. Please do join us and let us have any questions or any feedback, actually. If there's something you think we could do better, please do let us know. Okay, we've had some questions in actually about academic study skills, it seems to be. So Emma, I think that one might be you. Where would people go for their reading list, and can have you got any information that they can use for their research? So this is somebody who's obviously really thought about this already and started to think about those wider skills that they might need.
Yeah, definitely. So there's kind of two prongs to that question there, really. So if we're thinking about reading lists, we get your reading lists from your program leaders and from your tutors who are delivering the program. And then we do our very best to source all of those books on the reading list. We'll always get the most up-to-date version that we can to make sure that it's the most current information for you. And then we'll make sure that we're supplying them within the library setting as hard copy books. And also, where possible, we'll provide them as ebooks as well. So your reading lists are generally very well provided for in that respect. But we also then have online resources that we can give you information about and that we can give you support to access. And online information is where you're going to get lots of your information for your research. We've got some really excellent journal databases that are all peer-reviewed journals that you can use for your research to make sure you're really getting like quality, current and relevant information into your research and to your assignments.
Yeah, and I think I just want to add here for those of you who are joining us on our programmes, the library service at Cambria is absolutely excellent and so well qualified and able to support you. And you do a lot of work, don't you, with our university students?
Absolutely, we do. Right from the very start, really. As soon as you start with us, we're there to support you, not just with your academic skills, but also with anything that you might be concerned about in terms of digital skills as well. So we're there to support you with that, as well as a whole raft of academic skills. So you might not have been in study for some time and you might be feeling like you're a little bit rusty on how you write academically or understanding what your assignment is expecting of you. We've got a really great team of facilitators and academic skills coordinators who can work with you either within clusters in your groups and in your subject areas or on a one-to-one level. So you can actually book in, refer yourself to our coordinators and our facilitators and ask for that one-to-one support. And as I say, that's right from day dot and sometimes even before you start.
Yeah, I was going to ask if I was thinking of joining, would there be something I could do to get a head start, perhaps?
From an academic skills perspective, if you were a current College Cambria student, say you're a level 3 student who's wanting to progress, or an access student, you're already with us and you want to progress into a degree level program, absolutely there's lots of stuff we can do with you right from the start, perhaps throughout the summer before you even join your course, we can work with you. If you're brand new to College Cambria, then usually that support is put in just before you start your induction program. So we might put on a bespoke study skills day just to get you started and get you introduced to the team, get you thinking about what you might need to brush up on, and as we say, get you started with those digital skills as well. So that's it from sort of an academic perspective, but there is also a lot of support available to you prior to starting that I think Donna can answer about, actually.
Donna?
Sorry, I was looking for my mute button. Apologies. Yeah, we on our HE offer letters, we put some links on there as well to direct people through to resources, etc., to have a look at. But also, students mustn't forget that they can access the university partner resources as well. So as well as the support you get from College Cambria, there's also those university partner resources. As Emma mentioned, we do have some project work that happens just before the start of courses, where Emma's team put on some bespoke days for academic study skills and digital skills, etc. So it's well worth students who are particularly new to us to brush up on those skills, especially if you've had a gap in study, for instance. Continuing students, as Emma said, it's quite seamless really in terms of support, but if anyone's got any concerns, then just give us a shout.
Fantastic, thanks Donna. Emma Hurst, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, please, just a little. We for any students who apply to us, we would invite them into an applicant day, usually around about June time, where all of our HE applicants would get together, irrelevant of what they're studying, irrelevant of what site they're studying at. So you can kind of get a feel as to what HE at Cambria will be like. We introduce you to the main members of the team across the college, and give you kind of that starter information that you might possibly be looking for before you start as well. And I'm just going to go back to one of Emma's points before, and I think you made the point as well, Lizzie, about the fantastic services that kind of our cross-college teams have for students. And I think probably one of the things to mention here is we have, for our higher education students, the satisfaction rates from what students report back to us is excellent. And actually we're in the high 90s and above many UK kind of higher education providers. So I think because of our kind of smaller class sizes, if you like, and the amount of support that we can give to students, it is a very unique experience for those students. And as such, the feedback is really good. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of mention that.
And I think that's really important, because for people here this evening who are considering it, who may be, maybe nervous, who, might be worried about, are they going to get that support? I think that's really reassuring to hear. And I think the fact that we're all here this evening, our support services, telling you that we want to support you, we want to make this work for you. I hope that gives you some reassurance. Callum, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Real pleasure to have you. And I think you're joining us from Wrexham, which I believe there's some snow on its way. So thanks, Callum. And a really good question and really important. How do I join? So if Callum's interested in getting involved, Donna, what would he do?
Okay, I think the best protocol in the first place is the website, and have a look around the HE website. It splits the courses up in various ways, and one of which is the subject area sort of view of courses. So if you've got an interest, for instance, in engineering, it will group all the courses together that are similar. So it gives you a really good starting point. On those areas, then, each course has its own course profile, as I mentioned previously, and that will give you all the information, sort of, what the entry requirements are, the cost, how long the course is, which university partner, and the interesting stuff that you'll cover on those courses, and how they're done and how they're assessed as well. So on those sheets there'll be an apply now button, and it's basically as simple as setting up an online account, then click through and the application comes through to us electronically. Some of the things that we ask while students are applying relate to what you guys have already mentioned, in terms of Nick mentioning the additional learning support and also student services, etc. We ask those types of questions upon application. So as soon as you disclose, then our teams will be in touch with you to try and put in arrangements as well. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to mention that, isn't it, Nick? That we need to know as soon as possible if you would like some support, just so that we can make it as smooth as it can be for you. Nick, do you want to add something there?
Well, yeah, just to reiterate the same. The sooner we know, the sooner we can offer help. And actually, if you don't disclose until you arrive, or if you apply late and you tell us at that point, then we can only do that then at the start of the term. Whereas if you're applying at some point in the near future, then we've got plenty of time to get in touch with you. Everything's a lot more relaxed. We've got time to meet with you electronically or on the phone or in person, one-to-one, and just so that we can advise you for the best way going forward, but also make sure that we've got everything that we need to make our environment and your learning as inclusive as we possibly can. Sooner the better.
Thank you. So we went a bit off track there, Callum, but I do hope that answered your questions. If you've got anything, if you need any further clarification, or if you've got any other questions, please do pop them into the chat. So thank you, Callum. I've got another question coming through. Bethan, I think it's back to you for this one. Bursaries, what are they, and are they available?
So bursaries is a supportive financial, I suppose, payment made to you. There's support if you are a currently a College Cambria learner and you're looking at coming to us as well to study for HE. But on top of that, there are bursaries for learners who haven't come directly from Cambria. So we've got an ABBA bursary for those progressing from level 3 onto the foundation or BA childhood studies programs, or a Cambria bursary for those learners who are paying over 7,500 if you're not being sponsored or funding. So there's certainly financial support there.
Well, sorry, go on, Emma. Do you want to add anything?
I'm just going to say if anybody else wants to add on how much exactly that might be, or any further information.
Yeah, I don't mind adding a little bit to that. So we have kind of added a new Cambria bursary just this year for our students. As Bethan mentioned, those students who are paying above £7,500 for their course, and it's there to support students. So whilst there is some money available to support students, there's also some campus credits where you're able to spend those campus credits at different outlets throughout the college. So for example, in our refectories, the gym, you're able to use campus credits in the gym as well, if that's what students want to use. Hair and beauty, the florist, the restaurant. So there's lots of kind of areas where you're able to spend those campus credits, as well as kind of having that cash support available as well. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that, Lizzie. Thank you.
No, that's incredible, isn't it? And I think that's something as well that's particularly unique to Cambria. And again, hopefully, it's another reason why you'll consider and want to be joining us. Because we do care, and we do listen. Most importantly, we listen to what you tell us. And when you tell us that you would like access to these fantastic facilities, things like the restaurants and the beauty salons and the gyms and everything, we make sure that you are able to. So Terry, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And I have to say, congratulations. It looks like you're very nearly there with your applied animal behaviour. So well done for that. And you're interested in doing a PGCE, so considering becoming a teacher. So good question. Will it allow you to teach in both FE and university? Emma Hurst, is that you or?
Yeah, I can answer this, and anybody else feel free to jump in after I've kind of finished my bit. So in an answer, yes, it would. However, colleges and universities would probably look for different things within your teaching qualification. So the PGC that we offer is for post-compulsory education, so for 16 plus. However, some universities may wish that students have a fellowship of the Higher Education Academy, and that's generally done in other qualifications. So for example, there is a PGCT-HE that is available for students who solely want to teach in higher education, so in university kind of institutions. But yes, the PGCE, it would certainly kind of put you on that road if you were looking to teach in an FE and a HE institute. I don't know if anybody else wants to jump in there.
Nick, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think, well, not much. Only that often to teach in a HE environment, they'd expect you to have more than an undergraduate degree. However, doing the PGCE in post-16, actually, like Emma said, is a really good place to start, because you can top up with a master's degree whilst you're working. And that, along with the PGCE, actually is more likely to get you into a HE institution. Some don't. It's university to themselves. Universities are a bit different to colleges in that they tend to be a bit more, they tend to have sort of autonomy over the qualifications. They want their staff to have a little bit more than they do in FE colleges. But no, I think it's a great choice, as Emma said.
Yeah. And I also I know that the feedback from the PGCE is really excellent. We know many of our staff actually have done PGC here at the University Centre, and they all say how really rounded it is, because it's not just about that piece of paper. It's actually having those skills and that toolbox of skills that enable you to be a great teacher. So we've definitely had some really good feedback on that.
Can I just add one little thing to that, Liz, as well? Because a lot of students who study the PGCE with us actually do go on to become our members of staff.
Yeah.
So actually want studying that, they're aware of the roles that are coming up within the college, and actually studying at the college and doing the PGCE with us kind of puts them in good stead really for any new roles that are coming out. So a lot of our PGCE students stay with us to complete their employment as well. So yeah, it's a really good program.
It's very true. And it's great to be a teacher as well. It's a great career. So thank you, Terry. I hope that answered your question. Again, if you want any further clarification or you want to know more, you can either pop it in the chat, or alternatively, you can contact us on social media, and we will definitely get back to you tomorrow, and we can have that sort of individual conversation. So thank you very much for that. Okay, if you've just recently joined us, welcome to our StreamYard Live event. And this evening we are talking all things Cambria University Centre. We're with our panel of experts here, and we're attempting to answer your questions as they come through. Thanks, Terry. Thank you. Please do pop your questions to us, but don't worry if you don't think of a question. You think of a question in the middle of the night or something, hopefully not, but if you do, then you can contact us tomorrow or at any time on social media. We've got some brilliant social media, and we get back to you. We will answer you, so don't worry about that. And just as a reminder, actually, we do have some really exciting open events. They are happening. Emma, remind me.
Sure, they're happening on the 23rd of January and the 24th of January. So 23rd is Monday, next Monday, and that's at our D-side campus. And the 24th is at our Yale and Bersham Road sites.
Brilliant. We hope we see you there. Terry, we hope you pop along to that as well. Okay, just a reminder that we do have, if you want to contact us directly about our HE provision, then you can email us on he@cambria.ac.uk. That's he@cambria.ac.uk. There it is, as if by magic, it's popped itself along the bottom. So please do get in touch. Okay, we've had some other questions coming through. I'm not sure if we've already touched on this, but the degree courses, what level courses do we offer? Emma, would that be you? Sorry, I keep coming to you, Emma. I do apologise.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I think I mentioned it right at the beginning. So just as a recap, we've got lots of different levels of courses, and lots of students will come to us who've already done some form of HE study previously, and we can look to help those people on an individual level to look at what we can map students across to if they have done previous study, or if they haven't, just kind of on that starting track. So we have a number of courses at level 4, at level 5, at level 6, and then we've got our postgraduate courses as well, which is for those people who are wanting to go on to teach after they've completed a degree. So yeah, an array of courses really. And we've got higher nationals, so higher national certificates, higher national diplomas, which again are level 4 and level 5 qualifications.
Wow, so really something for everybody, isn't there?
Yeah, and a different
there's a good selection.
Yeah, and as I said, a different starting point for everybody, because some people may have done some previous study, and it's not that previous study should ever be forgotten about. If we can map that to a programme, then we absolutely will do that, to save students time and money.
Brilliant, thank you. And speaking of money, we've actually got a question in which, Nick, I think it's probably going to be you. What is disabled students allowance and how do I apply?
I did mention it briefly before, didn't I, with no detail?
Yeah.
So disabled students allowance is for anybody who's got a long-term disability, whether that's a physical disability, a specific learning difference, or a mental health condition that will impact the way that they learn. And you apply for it through either Student Finance Wales, if you live in Wales, or the Students' Loan Company, if you live in England. And it's worth pointing out at this point, actually, whether you're applying for DSA or if you're applying for a student loan, you do apply for wherever you live, not just because you're coming to a Welsh institution, you apply through Student Finance Wales. If you live in England, you apply through Student Loan Company. DSA, if you're applying for it, you don't have to have applied for a student loan. So you don't need a maintenance loan, you don't need a fees loan. So if you've been supported by your employer, for example, you can still apply for DSA. And what happens is you put in an application through Student Finance, and you need to have some sort of evidence, whether that be a full specific learning difference report, such as dyslexia or dyscalculia, or a medical diagnosis for something like ADHD, autistic spectrum condition, or for mental health difficulties. You apply on Student Finance website, you tell them what your difficulty is, you upload some evidence, and they get in touch with you then to do what's called a needs assessment. And that needs assessment actually is, well, this is your difficulty. How is it going to impact you when you're learning? And what can they help you with in terms of financing, whether that's technology, whether that's mentoring support, whether that's academic support. It comes from outside of the college, and it's not means tested. So depending on what your disability or learning difference is, actually depends on what they give you. So if you're dyslexic, it might be that they give you a laptop that's got specific technology on to help you learn best. If you have a physical disability, then what adaptations do we, in terms of technology or physical adaptations, do they need to put in place? It works slightly differently in England and in Wales, but not much. Like I say, apart from there's some changes in that in England, if they're going to give you technology, you have to pay the first certain amount of money. But basically, it's whatever needs that they think you've got, they will provide the support. And it's almost like an endless pot of money, but it's up to them what they decide. I don't, I don't say that in that, yes, you get all of these things. They give you whatever you think is needed. So they do the needs assessment, then they will provide you with that, but it's quite a long process. So whether that is, like I said before about disclosing early, the sooner you apply for student finance, lots of people don't apply for DSA until September. Well, if you don't apply for DSA until September, it's not going to be in place for when you start your programme at the end of September, beginning of October. If you applied for it now, they'd probably turn around that needs assessment and get it in the bag ready for you within a few weeks. In September, there's a bit of a bottleneck. Everybody's applying. So actually you want to do it sooner rather than later. But what you need, sorry, I'm waffling a little bit, but you need to have either a medical diagnosis, ADHD, autistic spectrum condition, or a physical health, or you need a full diagnosis of a specific learning difference, dyslexia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, something like that. And then you apply through whichever your student loan provider is, whether or not you're applying for a student loan. If you need any support at all, you can drop us an email and either Student Services or myself can guide you through applying.
Yeah,
I
think that's the thing.
Sorry.
It is quite a complicated thing. It seems complicated, but actually we've done this many times, and so we can guide you through the whole process, and we will support you with all of it. Donna, do you want to add something in there?
Yeah, it was just really to reiterate what Nick said about, the disclosure side of things and getting the application started as soon as possible. You might notice I'm wearing blue glasses. I'm one of the students, if I was studying, that this applies to. I've been in receipt of that DSA myself, and it is really helpful. It can, anything from having extra time in exams and things like that, laptops with specific software on it, etc. If you don't let us know, then we're going to struggle to help, really. But make sure that we know about it and you do that assessment as soon as possible. We've seen lots of students that have studied really successfully, who've had DSA support and ALN support, and they often think that they can't do it because of some of the barriers. They absolutely can. So, get the support that's there and ready for you, and we'll help you all the way.
Exactly. Our job is to bash those barriers down. So that's here for. Emma, would you like to bash in an answer there?
Yeah, I think just to add to kind of what Donna and Nick have mentioned, really, is that DSA can sometimes take a long time. But I think just some reassurances that we can offer is, and if a student applies for DSA, we will still support a student with their needs until that DSA is in place. So that wraparound support is still there. It's not that we'll forget about you until your DSA comes back. We'll absolutely support you 100% of the way until we get kind of those decisions back from the Student Loans Company and Student Finance Wales. So, yeah.
We will. And just to reiterate, if you've only just recently joined us on here, to reiterate, inclusion is really important to us here at the Cambria University Centre. And we want to make sure that everybody, regardless of your protected characteristic or your needs, everybody is welcome and supported to achieve. So, just again, if you've recently joined, welcome to this live StreamYard event. Really pleased to have you here. We hope that we're answering your questions, but please do send us any questions you might have. If you're unable to ask a question this evening, or you think of something, you are able to join us in our open events. We'll give you some details on the bottom there at the end. You can join us on our open events, or you can contact us directly at he@cambria.ac.uk. That's he@cambria.ac.uk, and we will reply directly to you. And of course, that can be in either Welsh or English. So,
Lizzie, just to mention, I actually answer all the HE at Cambria. So if people want to put a face to a name, it's me. So I will get back to them.
So Donna will get back to you. And if it's a question involving somebody else, she will get on to us very, very quickly. She does do that. So that's brilliant. Okay, please do send any questions through. I've had one through, which I think, Beth, it's going to be back to you. And actually, this is a really important thing, and something that, especially now with the cost of fuel crisis and, and the cost of even just running a car, have we got any transport, any free transport for higher education students? Bethany, are you able to help with that?
Yes. And yes, we do, in line with the further education students that we've got coming to Cambria. There are many different bus routes from all over North Wales, the Wirral, wide-ranging areas are covered by transport, whether that's an Arriva pass or a college bus. We have got the details on our website under free breakfast and transport. So there's another point there, free breakfast.
Breakfast too.
So there are many different transport routes. Like I said before, they are free of charge. And the criteria is living over 3 miles from the college, basically. And then we can look at getting you into college and home. We've also got a phone line, an out of hours phone line. So if you were stuck or stranded or anything, there is support out of hours till about 6:30 in the evening for extra support. If you do want more details or want more information about the routes that we do, please contact us either through student services or transport@cambria.ac.uk. And just on the point of the free breakfast as well, which I think is like toast and a cup of tea or maybe a piece of fruit. We did do free soup at lunchtime. That was in the run up to Christmas. I don't know if anybody can just confirm whether that's still happening now, but I know that it was for staff and students, and we were quite fortunate in that respect.
I think
still on at the moment for students.
Brilliant. Yeah. So free soup, free breakfast, free transport. What else do you want? You've got everything there to make it a really fun time. So yeah, I think that is great. Again, we are listening to you. We've heard what you've told us. We know that people are struggling financially. We are putting absolutely everything into this to make sure that those barriers that you've had are removed. Aaron, thank you. Hi, Aaron. Thanks for joining us. And we hope you're enjoying this evening. And thank you very much for your question. Really, really important, actually. And I don't know the answer to that, so I'm going to pass it to our panel. Are HNC considered access courses?
I don't mind answering that.
Looking at you.
Yeah. Fine, no problem. So Aaron, access to HE courses are level 3 programs. They're generally classed as further education because they're on that level 3 kind of barrier. When you move into level 4, which is what a HNC is, that's classed as a higher education. So the HNC program is a level 4. The access program is a level 3. So the HNC is a level above the access course. Hope that's answered your question.
I think that was very clear. But Aaron, if you've got any other questions, do email us at he@cambria.ac.uk. Do ping us an email, ask us on social media, or pop in and see us, because that's also an option. We're quite friendly, and we love seeing you face to face. If you've got any questions, you've got any worries, or you need some further details. We'll be sharing some details about our open events as well. So we've got 2 open events next week, I believe. Emma, I'm putting you on the spot again. Let's check your memory.
Yeah, that's fine. So we've got 2 open events next Monday and next Tuesday, so 23rd, 24th of January. The 23rd, it will be at our Deeside campus, so Monday at Deeside. Tuesday will be at our Yale site and Bersham Road site.
Brilliant. And that will be all over social media, I presume. If you follow us on Facebook, that will informate to you. Oh, and we've got a phone number for you at the bottom as well. As if we haven't given you enough already, there's a number you can actually ring us. So ring, follow us on social media, visit our websites, email us, or pop in and see us. But just don't just stay at home and not and worry about things. That's what we don't want you to do. Okay, if you've only just recently joined us, you're on our live StreamYard event, and this evening we're talking all things Cambria University Centre. We're joined by our panel of experts who know everything there is to know about everything HE. And we've been hopefully answering your questions. I have got some further questions coming through. We will be live till 7 o'clock, so don't think you've left it too late. Ping your questions through, and we would love to answer them. But somebody has asked me with something that I think's certainly very close to my heart and something I struggle with. If you haven't studied for ages, can you get any support with IT? Emma, is that something that happens with your team?
Yes, definitely. So we've talked this evening about all the support and inclusion for our learners with additional needs, but because we're such an inclusive college, obviously we extend all that support to all learners where we can, and that's even if you haven't got additional learning needs that are specifically statemented, you've still got a lot of support available to you. So even if that's just brushing up on some of your digital skills before you start your course or before you get stuck in, we can help you with that. We're a Google institution, so we use Google Workspace for all of our learning that you do. So you'll use Google Classrooms for information from your tutors, and you'll use Google Docs for writing your assignments, Calendar for your organisational skills, and using Chromebooks as well. So one of the resources that we provide within the library service are Chromebooks, and they are available in your classrooms, so you'll get quite familiar with using them in your classroom, but also available for you to loan to take home. Obviously in the library spaces as well, we're very well equipped. We've got a lot of Windows PCs that you can use. We've got print facilities that you can use. You actually get print credit every term as well, so you'll get £10 credit for printing every term. That gets topped up automatically. And you know, there's just so many resources out there to support you, whether it's in the library space or in your classroom space. So yeah, digital skills, definitely something we can support you with, something that our team are very well qualified to deliver on. So it could be that you want some support in putting together a presentation for one of your assignments. It could be that you need a little bit of extra input on doing spreadsheets or how to put together surveys for your research. There's tons of things that we can support you with for your digital.
That is great, because it is a concern. I think we do get a bit worried about whether we're too outdated. I know with me, and I have to say, I go down, and I know all my team do, and all of us as staff, we go to the library and we get support with anything to do with digital. And they are absolutely fantastic at explaining things. And what I really like for me is they are brilliant at explaining it simply. So not complicated. So there's nothing to worry about. You know, you get support right throughout, and IT support is part of that. So thanks, Emma. Thank you very much for that.
Just to say as well, Lizzie, one of the most common concerns with students when they're starting an HE course is how to reference. And that is something that we do this as our bread and butter in the library and academic skills. So do not fear referencing. We're absolutely 100% there to support you with understanding how to reference and cite for your assignments as well.
That's true. And can they come and work in the library? Is that a possibility?
Yes, so yeah, we have lots of Windows PCs that you can use in the library. There's flexible space where you can use Chromebooks or your own devices. We support bring your own device, so we've got a great Wi-Fi network that you can connect your own devices to and work from. So yeah, plenty of spaces for study as well.
And so for those of you who have joined us this evening, if you're thinking about actually, oh, do you know, I really want to do this higher education program, but when am I going to find the time or the space at home? You know, it's a really great option. You do late evenings as well, don't you, Emma? I'm not sure. Is that every evening or?
Yes, our two main campuses, the Deeside and Yale, are open late 4 nights a week.
Yeah,
I believe 3 or 4 nights a week, that is. And we're open until 6 o'clock on those evenings.
Yeah, which is really helpful because it just gives you that opportunity to study in a quiet space, but with that fantastic support available as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the time is 6:50, and if you've just joined us, then and you're worried you haven't had a chance to ask your questions, please do pop it into the chat on your social media, or alternatively contact us in. We explained how many different ways we've got. You can email us on he@cambria.ac.uk. You can phone us, or you can pop in and have a chat to us. And if you want more information, we have a fantastic website with everything you ever wanted to know about HE at Cambria. So just got a couple of questions before we wrap up for the evening. And before we go, what we will do is make sure that we give you the information about when courses start, and make sure that you know where to go next. So just a couple of questions coming through. Equality and diversity, somebody was asking, do we have any provision for equality and diversity in the college? And Nick, do you want to answer that, or do you want me to?
I don't mind. Our equality and diversity guru isn't here this evening, but she's very fast at replying to emails. I'm sure by magic her email will just appear on the screen. As I mentioned before, we've got a very inclusive college generally, and Alice knows everything possible about equality and diversity. So if anybody's got any worries about it, then email, I think it's equalityanddiversity@cambria.ac.uk. Is that right?
As simple as that. Equality and diversity at there it is. Like you say, as if by magic. And what I would say that please do get in touch. You can get in touch with her before you start if you've got concerns about, it might be protected characteristic, or you'd like to know more about what we do around equality and diversity. We've got some exciting things that we get involved in. We've got some fantastic student groups that we'd love, if you join us, love to be part of. Doesn't mean that you have to have lived experience. It might be that actually you just want to get involved in some of these support or information and guidance. So do get in touch with Alice. She'd love to chat to you. She actually joined us from Oxford University, so she's got some really good experience there and really good information.
Sorry, just to jump in again before we just said we've said quite a bit about how much we listen, and there's groups popping up all over the place for people with these protected characteristics, but also for allies as well. And there's for FE students and HE students. And if anybody feels like there isn't a group, then Donna, I'm sure, would, or myself or Alice would help set one up. So if anybody feels like they want to take something forward, and of course our inclusion centre, you know, they're staffed by the inclusion team and Alice, and you can just come in, see us, talk to anything equality or inclusion, and we'll try and help with whatever we can.
Absolutely, thank you for that, Nick. That's brilliant. Yeah, and it's Alice always talks about we love our students to be curious, so we know that we don't always as people, we don't always get things right, but we have a real open policy about asking those questions. We know that it's a complex area, equality and diversity, so we want to get it right. So we ask you, and we hope that you ask us as well any questions that you may have, or any clarification you need about phrases, terminology, things like that. So,
Lizzie.
Hello.
Hi, Lizzie. Would it be a good time just to mention student voice?
Oh, it would. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I was just thinking, whilst obviously Nick and yourself were mentioning that.
Very valid.
By all means, come up with any suggestions that, as students, that you feel are valid. And as Nick said, myself, Nick, Alice and the team will pick those up and take them forward. But we have a comprehensive student voice activity that goes on across all of our HE provisions. So that is run by me. So I come out to each group a couple of times a year to talk to all the students and the student reps who we ask to be nominated at the beginning of each academic year. And we take on board everybody's feedback. We try to action as much as we can in terms of the things that you've asked us to do, and also anything that comes up we'll pass on and share around HE as well. The student reps have the ability to attend our HE steering groups, and also put themselves forward for things like HE student governor and things like that. So it's a very active what's the word? Community, I think, is the word I'd use across HE. So yeah, we encourage students to get involved at every stage, whether that be module evaluations, surveys, etc. Tell us your thoughts, and then we'll act on them, hopefully.
That's fantastic, Donna. Thank you very much. And we are now getting quite close to, sadly, because I think it's been I've enjoyed myself anyway, but we are sadly getting close to the end of this live StreamYard event. I do hope that we have been able to answer your questions. There is just one thing that I think I need to ask the panel. Well, two things, actually. First of all, we've obviously convinced everyone that this is the place to come. So when do the courses start? And just remind us how they would apply. Emma or Donna?
Yeah, sure. Donna, if I miss anything, please just jump in. So most of our university programs do start in September. So again, all of the information is on the website there. If you don't have the entry criteria for any of our university programs, as I mentioned previously, we do have access to higher education programs, and we have a January start and a September start for those programs. So again, all of the information is on the website. But yeah, for HE, generally September.
Fantastic.
Can I just jump in?
Yeah.
Just to let everyone know that our courses are actually open for application from each November open evening. So the November open evening just gone, our HE application's open. So if you want to apply now, you can do that straight away, and make sure you've got all your arrangements in place ready for September.
Absolutely excellent. Thank you so much. So we're just a couple of minutes away. So I would like to thank every one of you for joining. We hope that we've been able to answer some of your questions, and we hope that we have convinced you that this is the place to come. If you're not yet convinced, or you've got further queries, then please do get in touch with us and have a look at our website, or pop along to our open days. So for the last time this evening, Emma Hurst, will you please tell us when our next open events are?
Sure. So they're next week, Lizzie. So next Monday and next Tuesday. Next Monday evening is at our Deeside campus, and next Tuesday evening is at our Yale and Bersham Road sites. So yeah, please do come along. You'll see probably myself and Donna there. And probably lots of other people across college, actually. More than happy to help answer any questions that you may have, or anything we've not answered for you this evening.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And don't worry if you aren't able to come to those open events, you can get in touch with us through social media, through our email, he@cambria.ac.uk, or just pop in anytime. Any one of us or any of our teams would be more than happy to see you, to greet you, to answer your questions. So that leaves me nothing else to say except thank you once again for joining us. It's been a real privilege, and we hope that you've had a bit of insight and the answers to some of your questions. I think we'll be running some more of these. If you've got any feedback, if you think there's something we could improve, please do let us know. But otherwise, please stay warm this evening in the snow. And thank you very much for joining us on the live StreamYard event for the Cambria University Centre. Noswaith, good night, everybody, and have a lovely evening.
Thank you.